at IU Dental School, and he was so strong that when one of his kids suggested going to Purdue, he almost had a heart attack.
Yes.
You just don't do that. You're
it's
either
like
Purdue or you're Indiana or you ain't.
it's like a Texas grad's kids wanting to go to A&M, you know, Aggie Land.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
terrible.
That's
We're going, huh?
All right.
Okay. Well, Claude, how you been?
just great. I have a job for next year, so that's wonderful for an actor to know that he's going to be employed for a whole other year.
Well, not only employed, but Lobo is moving, isn't he?
We're making some changes. I know it sounds a little like they're big changes, but they really aren't. We had the feeling last year, and the writers got the feeling last year, that we were a little boxed in, script-wise, by being in Orley County, by trying to stay in a small county. And if you notice, toward the end of the season, the show started getting broader. We sent Perkins to Los Angeles on one thing. We had a roller derby thing, which could have taken place any place in the country. We had a bank robbery with the thing strapped on the chest. And the feeling on the hiatus was, if we had a broader base for the show, then maybe we could have different stories. And Roland Kibbe is our new producer. So Roland got the job of figuring out how to do it and what to do. And in the first episode, which is a two-parter, the sheriff of Fulton County, Atlanta, is duck hunting in my county, Orley, and someone tries to kill him, wounds him, and I am appointed deputy, and I become sheriff pro tem of Fulton County. And I, of course, take my brother-in-law Perkins with me, and I, of course, take Bertie, my protege, with me, and in a sense, we move Orley to Atlanta. And we can go back and forth. We can still do the different shows, but it gives us a little broader base to make the shows. It's not really as big a change as it sounds.
Claude, I'm sure that you hear the jokes just the same as we all do. Johnny Carson monologue does Lobo jokes.
Cartoons. There was a cartoon in the paper the other day. I guess, everybody's taking a shot at us. I don't understand it, really. When the show opened, and I work with Mills Watson, whom I believe to be the funniest man in the world, both on screen and off screen. I said that working with Mills Watson is like living constantly in a Neil Simon play, because something's going all the time. Brian Kerwin is not only gorgeous, but a marvelous talent, and a very funny man in his own right. So we have a great rapport on the show, and a great sense of laughter going on the set. And I thought we were doing very good shows. We opened, and every critic took a shot at it. They just, And so my wife interrupted me. I was back in the room crying one day, and she interrupted me, and we kind of realized that, actually I was screaming and hitting the walls, and I was saying, but it's a good show, it's a good show. Anyway, if you look back in history, there is a psychological explanation of why people don't like slapstick. Those who are unable to express their feelings, to take out their angers and things like that, who keep it all inside. Now, I'm not saying that critics are all withdrawn, things like, only that some of these critics may be. But anyway, that psychologically is why people don't like slapstick. And it's a comfort to us to know that the tramp, Charlie Chaplin, was roundly trounced by the critics when he first appeared. Laurel and Hardy were attacked by the critics. The Marx Brothers, when they did their first film, I think got tremendously terrible reviews. And Mills said a funny thing. He said, I wonder how long we have to be on television before it will be fashionable to like us.
Well, now, are you living with the so-called, I don't think of it so much as criticism as it's just kind of a natural thing for Johnny Carson to take off on.
I suppose so, yeah. It's a good foil for him. And I think really every time he mentions the show, that's good publicity for us. I think that we have a funny show. I think our scripts, for the main, were very good scripts, and I think they'll be even better this year because we're becoming more familiar with each other and with the area. And I suppose it just depends on if you like our brand of comedy. And as you say, Johnny picks up on any kind of a controversial thing, and of course we would be a good one to poke fun at.
Have you stopped beating the walls?
Yes. Yeah, my business manager told me how much I made this year, so I quit crying.
Claude, I think many people don't realize the movie background that you have.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been in some really
Well,
dynamite
I started
movies.
in summer stock, then I went to Broadway, and then I was tested in New York by Columbia Studios for From Here to Eternity. I came out to do Eternity, then I did Cane Mutiny, and I have done 49 motion pictures and about 320 television shows. But the last 5 years, I did Moving On for 2 years, and now this is the second year for Lobo. I did a miniseries called Nashville '99 that we filmed in Nashville. So I think I am associated more with television than with film.
What is your favorite Humphrey Bogart story?
Oh, a lovely thing. We're done Cane Mutiny, and you come back and you do looping afterwards. If there's sound problems when it's recorded or extra noise or something, you have to come into a sound studio, and it's on a sound loop. You hear yourself say the line, then there's a pause, and you say it. And you hear yourself say it and say it. So it's back and forth until they get a perfect lip sync, and then they use it. And I went for looping, and Bogart was doing his looping in front of me. And of course, I'd been in awe of the man for years and had worked with him in film, and I'm just sort of looking at Humphrey Bogart. And there was a line that came over the intercom. The guy said, "Mr. Bogart, I don't know what this is. I think you said this word here." And Bogart looked at it and he said, "I'm sorry, sweetheart, it's the wrong line. You see, I lisp." And I just, I lisp. Oh, wonderful. And also, I went in one day, we were doing a scene on the fantail where we steam in a circle and cut our own toe line. And we do it because he's mad at me because my shirt tail's out and he's giving me hell. So I've been up all night working on the scene and learning the whole thing and going over and over and hoping that I know all the words. Go into makeup, and I'm nervously waiting up on the bridge of the ship. Bogart comes in, walks in, and says, "The assistant, what's the scene, son?" He told him. He looked at it. He read through it one time, and he said, "All right, let's go." And I thought, oh, no, it can't be that easy for you. He had the photographing ready one time, walked out. Letter perfect, we did the scene.
And you jumped off the fantail.
Yeah, I threw him off the fantail.
Very quickly, one last question. You were in Inherit the Wind with
Yes,
Spencer
yeah.
Tracy. Most people say he was the best of all film actors. Do you think he was?
I think he was a marvelous film. You could learn tremendous things from Spence because he did so much listening. When you'd cut to him and they're doing his close-up of just listening or reacting, he was fantastic. He knew his craft so beautifully, and you knew what he was thinking, and it's something you think, oh, I hope I can learn some of that, can watch him, and some of that believability that I can steal from it.
Well, Claude, it's been fun talking
Well,
with you.
thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Don't beat up any more walls.
Everybody in the Dallas, Houston, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area watches the show, and anybody caught watching other shows will spend the weekend in the Fulton County Jail.
Okay. They've been warned.
Yes.